up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Super Gamer Boys. I'm your host and captain and dad, Garrett Morlang, and here in the virtual studio is the king of video games and resident superstar, Adrian Holmes. Also, fellow Tarnished.
How do you do, fellow Tarnished?
How
go your journeys?
Oh man, dude. Well, we'll talk about that later. But how you doing, dude? It's been a couple weeks. I was feeling lazy last week and just called in. I'm like, hey, we're not doing a show. Screw the listeners. They don't need it. But how you doing?
And I said, say no more.
Say no more.
A Monday to not do nothing. I'm good with that. No, man, I've been good. I just been kind of hanging out. Really playing a lot of Elden Ring, a couple other things here and there. Like you said, we'll get into that later. Yeah, just kind of cooling.
Nice. Yeah. So
now I don't know if you've already, given everybody the news, but our, how should I say, how when Nintendo said that, the DS was going to be a third pillar to their strategy, and they were going to keep Game Boy Advance going. Our third pillar is nowhere to be found. They got a new work schedule that doesn't let them work on Monday, or doesn't let them come to the show on Mondays. What's going on with that?
Yeah, so We're going to try something new this week. We'll see how it goes. So bear with us during the transition, at least live. In the post, you guys who listen on Wednesday, you're not going to know any different. But old JJ, he works until 9:30 Central Time, which is when we normally start recording and streaming here. He's like, I'll be home, around 9:45, which actually is 9:45. Well, 7:45 our time, 9:45 his time. So technically he should be rolling in here at some time because we got started late. Who knows, though? Who knows what will actually happen? But he seems to think that he is capable of doing, let's say, I think we should call it like a rolling start. Like what you do with a car, like when you can't get it started, you got to roll it down a hill and pop the clutch. Yeah, that's kind of what we're gonna do here with JJ. Like we're rolling, we're getting the ball rolling, and he's gonna like pop his clutch and he'll be in here. Hopefully, now, or the whole stream's gonna crash. Or the whole stream's gonna crash. We'll see.
Over under on JJ having all his recording stuff set up and going. His camera all ready to go. His headphones and mic and lighting all up and going before he jumps in here. Over under.
No chance. There's no chance. All the stars align like that. That's the other issue. Is normally it's like he jumps in. It's like, hey, did you do this? Did you do that? Oh, dude, you forgot your light back there. Oh, hang on. Can you adjust your mic?
JJ, did you plug in your mic? You got to plug in your mic, man.
It's usually
all I hear is your computer mic. I hear your headphone mic. What?
Oh man!
Turn on your light.
So him dropping in here might be a process. It might be a decent process. So
we might have to
bear with
take
us.
We might have to take a intermission in the show to take it out real quick.
Oh man! Yeah. So yeah, that's how we're doing. Last week. So I canceled the show. I announced 2 weeks ago, like I'm going on a work trip, going to Orlando, super stoked. It's going to be awesome. Which it was. It was great. It was a great time getting to know some people. Man, those older people, they know how to party. They go hard, late nights. Boy, by the end of the weekend, I was just exhausted.
Jacked up. You were hungover like crazy.
Oh, it was totally wasted now. But just staying up so late every night and working. Like I worked all weekend because it was... For everyone else, it was just a conference to go to. For us, it was a work trip. We were filming and shooting and stuff like that. I was on my way home on Monday, and I texted the guys first thing in the morning. I'm like, I don't think I'll be able to do it tonight. I'm sorry. And I think only done like one flight at that point. I had a second flight still to get home. Boy, am I glad that I called in, because by the time I got home, I was still doing fine, but a little tired. I'm like, I could have probably still done the show. I could have done it, but it just would have been really low energy, which isn't what we want.
And then me and JJ would have had to carry the show because you would have fallen asleep on stream.
Oh yeah, it would have been a sleeping stream at that point. Just change the category, and I'm just sitting back and just I'm gonna mute my mic. You guys just take on the show.
Dim the lights in your office.
Yeah.
Get a Snuggie.
Well, within like 3 or 4 hours of getting home, dude, I was so sick. I was just like bad cold, like coughing real bad. Even still, I have a cough. Like I said, to mute and get it out. But man, yeah, the cough has been bad. Sinus is all jacked up. So I'm like, okay, now I'm really glad I canceled, because if I was like halfway through a show and that hit me, that would have sucked so bad. So,
oh boy.
Oh, you're freezing up there a little bit. Uh-oh.
Am I?
Yeah, your video is anyways. That was weird.
That's weird. I got green bars.
Yeah, so I'm alive and well now. Hopefully tonight's show is good. And again, hopefully JJ's able to figure out how to get into the
Look, man, we always bring it. Look, when we have to pick up the slack, don't worry about it.
Oh, yeah. We don't really need JJ. You know, he's just here. He is the third wheel, right? That's how this works. It's like you and me are on a date and he's just making sure that we're not getting, too handsy in the car.
He's killing the vibe. That's what he's doing.
He's killing the vibe. All right. Well, today we're going to be talking about Supermassive's next big game, new details on Hogwarts Legacy, and the state of development for the Perfect Dark Reboot. But first, let's give a quick shout out to our Patreon producers, Jr, Bleep Bloop, and Eddie Martin, and our Super Gamer sponsors, Julie Bates and Mama Mare. Shout out to those awesome folks over there who support us at patreon.com/supergamerboys, where you can go as well, support us, starting at just $1 a month. You can get episodes early and ad-free, such as this show. Immediately after the show, I edit the podcast, ship it out to you guys. You get our Super Gamer Book Club show hosted by Adrian about 2 months early. So currently, the episode that's up right now is the Metroid Dread with Zetch Keenan, Patrick Ellers, Connor McCabe, and fantastic episode. There should be a new episode coming soon. We've
tell them about the Uno reverse card we're about to play.
You want to go ahead and tell him? You want to give it to him?
That's right. Okay. So instead of, we're doing a schedule switch for book club episodes moving forward. So instead of the first week of the month, it's going to be the last week of the month. So for starting this month, you're going to get your Streets of Rage episode on this coming Friday, the 25th. And then moving forward, it's going to be the last week of every month. I know what you're saying. Oh, this doesn't make sense. It's the same amount of time. Look, I told Garrett, I explained it this way. I said, it's the psychological argument, right? Or not argument, but practice of when something that costs $5, but they market as $4.99. It gives your brain a little bit of that ease, that it helps you, to get into buying the product because you think, oh, it's actually not that expensive. Well, when we do it this way, it makes you think, oh, I have a whole lot of time. I have the whole month to play the game, So that's why we're going to switch it and see how it goes. So you still get it early. You're just going to get it at the end of the month.
Yeah. And now
same thing with the free episodes.
Yes.
We're going to move those too.
Yep. Now, does this mean also that we'll start? Because I feel like sometimes we'll wait a little bit to announce the game in order to make it a surprise. Would it be worth now announcing at the beginning of each month so listeners can play along with us? Or are we still going to keep it a secret surprise method?
That is a fantastic idea. I think that is what we should do. So that way, when people, just like we do now, they can have the entire month to get through the game.
Yeah.
And then they can throw their thoughts in the chat or anywhere, on Twitter while they're playing. I love to see people, especially if it's a game we've already played and there's people playing for the first time. I love to see people give their thoughts on it. So yeah, I'm down for that idea.
So yeah, so from here on out, once we figure out what April's game will be, we'll be
Give me a
announcing
minute.
that. Yeah, we'll let you know at the beginning. I may have a hint
for it right in front of you, but we'll see.
Okay. So yeah, we will be obviously the newest episode will be coming out next Friday. And then the very next week on that next regular episode of the podcast, that's when we'll announce it. So you guys will be in the know. We'll let you know what the new game is when we get it figured out for April. You'll play alongside us. Yeah, I think that'll be fun. That way we can get some cool feedback from you guys. And yeah, since we had a little bit of a stutter start here at the beginning of 2022 with our book club episodes, let's just roll
Fox
with it.
I tried to take us out.
Yeah. It's
a whole mess of things.
It's been rough for all of us. Kind of getting healthy, getting on our feet. So we're just rolling with the punches. That's what we're going to go with. And I'm excited. But yeah, we'll talk more about our Patreon later in the show. But first, I also want to shout out Jack Sriracha and Yate for allowing us to use their music on our show. Very much appreciate them for allowing us to, use it during the intro, outro on our streams. And then right now during the episode, that's what you hear in the background playing along, just under our voices. Give it a little chill vibe on our podcast. You know, we want to be more relaxed, like you're over at your friend's house, chit-chatting about video games, putting on some tunes. So, yeah, thank you so much to Jack, Sriracha, and Yate for letting us use their sweet tunes to just kind of set the mood here on the podcast. All right, it is now time to check the mail.
Now, Garrett, this one is going to be a little complex.
Oh, okay.
Now, I know you just got yourself a 3DS a little while ago.
Yes.
Now, I need you to open it up because I sent you one. I sent you the mailbag questions via a swap note, aka super flip note.
Okay.
So I need you to find it. I need you to open it up, and I need you to read those questions off of there.
Okay. Let me see here.
There we go.
All right.
For the audio listeners, he's got his DS. He's opening it up. Going to swap note.
Is it at the top? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay. And then
let's just go ahead and start with the first one.
All right. I think I got it. I got it here.
Okay, good.
All right. You guys want to see my 3DS? It's pretty sick. I love it. It's Metal Gear themed. It's a Metal Gear theme. I don't have my 3DS in my office. It's up in my bedroom. But I grabbed my
We were so close. If you would have had it would have worked perfectly.
I just think it's even funnier just to show behind the scenes. Come on, guys. I don't have my 3DS on me. I totally just grabbed a PS. That's good improv, though, right?
That was pretty good. I give you that one.
I was like, shoot, I don't have my 3DS down here.
The one time you don't have it, you have it all the other days.
I always have it down here. I actually had it down here this morning because I just bought a 64 gig card for it.
Ooh, big baller.
64 GBs. But it was a memory card that's not compatible with it. So I had to Google and follow YouTube videos on how to trick it into working with it. Yeah.
I tricked mine. I got a fat 256 in there.
Oh,
does it take forever to load the games or to turn on the system?
So yeah. I imagine. So I think the reason mine wasn't compatible isn't because of the size. It's because there's 3 different versions of micro SD cards, and I bought the XC, which is like the high speed one. And technically, those aren't normally.
It's too old.
Yeah, but
3DS is too old. It's running those 2011 internals. It's not.
Yeah. So I should have bought an HC, not an XC or HX or whatever. But there's a way to trick it, and honestly, like. It actually loaded faster than the 4 gigabyte card that it came with. So I was like,
oh yeah, because that's just a regular SD card.
Yeah. So I'm like, sweet, got that. It's like putting an SSD, in your console. Is basically what happened. All right. This first question comes from Penguin90, and they ask, what would be the worst video game world to live in?
Ooh. Oh man, this is a tough one. I'm gonna have to say Termina from Majora's Mask.
Okay.
Because it's gonna get destroyed.
That
seems like living in impending doom. That sounds pretty bad.
Now, I've never. Go ahead. Throw your stones. Now, I've never played Majora's Mask. Do the people know what's going on, or are they oblivious? Or are they just stuck in the time loop and totally oblivious to what's happening?
I don't know if I should tell you that. A lot of the stories are connected to.
Don't tell me then. I will
say
because if it was like a Groundhog Day, because I know like obviously Link knows what's going on because that's the character you play as. I think I don't know. So I imagine like as the character as a player. You're like, obviously you're in the Groundhog Day situation where like, what's happening, but does everyone else know? Or are they also oblivious? Just like in Groundhog Day, like no one else realizes it's repeating. But again, I guess if it's a spoiler, you don't have to tell me. I'll just have to play it. I just upgraded my Nintendo Online to the expansion pass. So I'll have to play. I'll have to play the crappy version on the Switch.
I was gonna say, now you could play the original, but you could also, now that you have a 3DS, you could play the updated version.
Okay, that's what I'll do.
Which a lot of people, or a lot of, how should I say, purists don't like, because it changes things and makes things easier. So what?
So what?
It fixes a lot of things that were kind of, obtrusive and not really clear in the original.
I like easy.
I'm fine with that. And it looks way better. So I'm down. I have that one and Ocarina of Time, and I refuse at this point to, if I don't have to play the N64 version.
Oh, we have a visitor.
Wait a minute.
On. Hold up.
Development?
Hold up.
Is this actually happening?
Mid question. Way to just totally bomb the question.
Hold on. Give him a second. He's coming in.
Hey, okay.
Oh my goodness.
Internet must be bad or something.
Our internet's really slow. We just caught up to you.
Okay, well that makes perfect sense, and you'll excuse me because I got some boot in my mouth right now. So
go ahead and get your Listerine real quick. We'll wait.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I just I washed it out with salami right now. So
okay.
That's good too.
I can't believe it.
Is this actually going to work? Is your recording started?
I just started a moment ago.
Oh my god! Oh my goodness! We were taking bets on how horribly this was gonna go. We're going. This is it. This is working.
Yeah.
You just kind of rolled in mid question here.
I can't believe it.
Okay, well, if this is how this is gonna go, then
so hi everybody. I'm JJ, and I'm the host of the Super Gamer Boys. And occasionally, I'll let these guys rattle around with their little mouths, saying their little words. But I'm here to save the day and to bring you true podcasting gold. So Garrett, Adrian, you guys go ahead and give me what you got, and I'll give you guys gold back. Go for it. I'm kind of like Rumpelstiltskin like that. Guess my name, baby.
Don't worry about it. We already front loaded the show with our slander. You can go back and listen to it later.
Yeah, you're gonna listen later to hear all the crap we were talking. So the question we were answering when you slid in here was from Penguin90. What would be the worst video game world to live in?
Last of Us 2. I'd hate to be anywhere near zombies and crap like that. I'm thinking post-apocalyptic. I would not want to be in a world where there's zombies coming after me and there's no cure and who knows right from wrong. Hell no, I don't want I'd rather be in like something like Kirby, like let me be in something that's like floaty and like, happy.
I'll see your Last of Us and raise you a Fallout. Because Last of Us
that was going to be my answer was Fallout. That was going to be my answer. I was like, that
Last
sounds
of
like
Us
a
only has
horrible one.
clickers. But Fallout has rad roaches. It has
the super
pseudo
mutants,
zombies. Super mutants. A whole bunch of, oh my god. I'm not doing that.
There's a lot going on in the Fallout world. Like literally everything's out to kill you. Even just the regular old humans out to kill you. Like horrible. I mean,
don't have anything on you. They'll kill you for it instantly.
So that actually sounds just like what Nebraska has been like since I got here. Like almost identical.
Everything's out to kill you.
The roaches are huge. Everything's out to kill you. No, I'm just kidding. I haven't seen one roach.
Fallout Nebraska.
Yeah, dude. That could be a great game. I know that Sir Prince-a-Lot and myself would get that game because we do have the greatest zoo here. What if like the zoo went crazy with like clickers? Yeah, I don't know.
What if the zoo was an area
in
that Fallout?
Oh man, the Omaha Zoo. It's just
that's one of the sections
in
of
the world gone
we
mad.
can do it.
The Henry Dooley Zoo overrun with zombies and the red roaches. Monkeys throwing infected poo at each other.
Oh man, terrifying.
You joke.
Watch that be a movie next summer.
Oh man. All right, this next question comes from Eddie Martin. He asked, all right, so we discussed Mount Rushmore of characters, and that was fun. Now I want to hear which 4 video game controllers go on your Mount Rushmore. So we did the Mount Rushmore of our favorite characters. What is the Mount Rushmore of your top 4 gaming controllers?
Okay. I think I'm going to go for, how do you want to do this? You want to just rattle off our 4?
Go ahead.
We think
Give
it's
me
top
4.
4?
Give me the 4.
I'm going to say one for me is the Super Nintendo Joy-Con. Like the Super Nintendo, I don't know what you'd call it, but that little handheld.
Gamepad or controller, yeah.
Yeah, gamepad. I think is what was the kind of the accepted. I love that controller, man. It fits so perfectly in your hand, and I think it's fantastic. As far as the next one on the list is probably going to be the DualSense. The DualSense is fantastic with the haptic feedback and everything. The Xbox Series S controller, which is the same as the other Xbox controllers right now, that controller is fantastic. So I'd a hard C. And then just because I'm a little older, I'm going to throw the entertainment system. That handheld for me
the
is
brick, the square, the rectangle.
It's fantastic. You just can't, dude. It's so.
We wouldn't
great.
have a D-pad.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have a common D-pad if it wasn't for that,
right?
And Game & Watch right before it. So
I could still play that. In fact, when I play anything that's from the Nintendo Entertainment System, I still want to play it on the original Nintendo gamepad.
You know that you can buy those
retro ones,
Joy-Con versions of it for it that actually slide onto the Switch through Nintendo. They sell those and Super Nintendo controllers. They have NES and SNES Joy-Cons that slide right on the side of your Switch that you can use because they're designed to be used with the Switch Online stuff. So something to look into if you want to play them play those games how they're supposed to be played. You could totally
how they're meant to be played.
Yeah, that's awesome. Adrian, what about you? What's your 4 picks?
Numero uno, of course, goes without saying.
Yeah.
Come on now, Super Nintendo. It's old man time out here because right behind that I have the GameCube controller. One of, if not the best design controllers. I'm not arguing this with anybody. I'm not debating this. This is just it's a scientific fact. I'm sorry.
This is fact.
Right behind that would be the Sega Dreamcast controller. Excuse me. For its innovation, it had the expandability factor that no other controller had before then. I mean, you could argue 64, but 64 didn't have VMU. 64 didn't have all the different attachments that you could put. I mean, it had some, but it didn't have nearly as many as Dreamcast had. I mean, think about it. And then you could have 2 of them at the same time. You could have a VMU at the front and a rumble pack in the back. Forget about it. And it showed you real-time information about the game that you were playing while you were playing it through the VMU. Unheard of. And then crazy. My last would probably have to be the 360 controller. You want to talk about a controller that was built like a tank? My 360 controller still works like a charm, and I've had it since 2006. That thing has been dropped, kicked, and not maliciously. I mean, it's just like I've kicked it out of the way when I'm walking through my room. It's been dropped, kicked, used for literally thousands of hours of Halo and Minecraft and Gears and all these different kinds of games, and it has kept on kicking. If you can't say one thing about Xbox controllers, even to this day, they are built to take a beating, and that is for sure.
Yeah, 100%. Dude, that's awesome. My top controller have to be the DualSense, I think. It sounds crazy, but because there's a lot of other fantastic controllers as we've all mentioned so far, but the haptic feedback and then the adaptive triggers is just really life-changing, especially, and I know you guys gave me a bunch of crap a couple weeks ago about Gran Turismo, but playing Gran Turismo with all like those features is crazy. Playing Ratchet and Clank with the trigger, like Call of Duty, whatever it is, like it really is so immersive and so incredible, like nothing you've ever experienced before. So that's got to be my number one. My number two is I was going to say the 360 controller. Absolutely love that thing. I love the feeling of it. You know, even though it took me a little bit to get used to the weird analog stick position, you know, you're right.
Those the things correct one, you mean?
Those things are tough as nails, and they are comfortable. Like the size of it is great, which I'm glad like PlayStation finally came around to like make their controllers bigger. Because even though I never had an issue with PlayStation controllers being small before. Once I got my hands on a 360 for the first time, 360 controller, I'm like, oh, okay, like this is good. This is good. This feels good in your hand. That's my number 2. My number 3 is so technically the DualShock 1, 2, and 3 are all the same controller, just some of them have wires and some of them don't. So that's going to be my pick, is the, PlayStation 1, 2,
the
3
DualShock
controller.
line.
The DualShock line, that was like all exactly, basically up until DualShock 4 when they changed it, because that was different. But DualShock 1, 2, and 3 were all identical. Nothing changed.
Are we all ready to admit that DualShock 4 was pretty garbage? Like in the line of PlayStation controllers, if we're comparing all 5.
Where's my controller? Let me see.
That was the first PlayStation controller that I'm aware of that started having issues with drift.
Well, not only that, but the battery life was awful. The build quality was nowhere near the other 4. Although you can make a case for the PS5 controller, apparently. I hear it's not the most durable thing on the market.
Yeah, I've got some issues with drift on my original controller and my original DualSense, and it's a huge pain. When you let go and you're like, oh man.
I was just pulling out my DualShock 2, and like kind of just like tinkering with it and thinking about I don't have that PS4 controller anymore, but I think I'd have to agree with you. Like even like the feel of it, I like the feel of this one better than the DS4, and then between the battery life and everything else, like it really, the touchpad,
they missed the mark.
Fine on it. Like I don't know.
I didn't need it. I never needed the touch. The touchpad never made a case for itself.
It was a map button. It was the button you'd use to bring up your map. Like that was it.
Which they just could have made a regular extra button. I never understood that.
yeah, it doesn't make sense. That's my number 3. My number 4 would have to be also the Super Nintendo controller. So I know we all said it, but it's a dang
common
good
denominator.
It's a dang good controller.
Man, that's a great question. Ricky Martin always gives us amazing questions. Thank you, Ricky Martin. And the other thing, I don't know if we could do like an honorable mention, but I think an honorable mention needs to be thrown out there for the Wii controller. The Wii controller was like that throwback, and like, man, I really think they did a great job with the Wii controller.
I'll give you that one. I can see that, especially when you the how should I say, utility of it. You can use it as a motion controller. You could turn it on its side, and then it became basically an NES pad.
It became an NES.
I can see that.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a pretty good idea.
It was way ahead of its time, that's for sure. Like fantastic controller, and it just felt good in your hand, especially like with or without the grip. Like they all kind of came with that silicone grip thing, like with the grip on, with the grip off. Like it just always felt good sideways. Holding it like a remote. Yeah, it really was a good all around controller.
Masturbatory tool.
I mean, that explains a lot.
Yeah. Okay, so that's actually 4. I was wondering why it came with the controller.
You put it on Wii, not your Wii.
Exactly.
All right, next question's coming from Jr. And he asks, what's the one game that never ceases to make the hours disappear? I know this is a little harder to find the time for those of y'all that have kids, but what could do it? A world that you're just fully immersed in. So what's that game that you sit down to play? The next thing you know, you look over at the clock and spend like hours. Like they just disappear, don't know where they went. What's that game for you guys?
Red Dead Redemption 2 for me. I can get into that world and that world that they've built and just be gone. And I've been through all the missions. I've done everything there is to do. But there's so much to it and it's so huge. I love playing cowboy, and like there's so much to it. And every time I do that, every time that I really get a good run going, I will always look at the clock and be like, how the heck is it 1:30 in the morning? How is it 2 o'clock in the morning? Holy crap. It happens constantly.
For me, it's at least the most recent game, it's Elden Ring. 100% Elden Ring, which shocks me to no end, because I know a few weeks ago I was like, I'm not getting that game. It's not a game for me. From Software games are no good. Like it's too hard. Let me tell you, that's a game I turn on, and then I look at the clock. I'm like, it's been how many hours? Like I feel like on one hand I feel like I've done so much. On the other hand, I feel like I've done nothing at all. But in the sense that I just want to keep playing, I'm just like, but I want to keep going. But it's bedtime. It's 2 a.m. Like I should go to bed now. But oh man, I am so freaking in love with Elden Ring where just time disappears. So that's definitely my pick, at least right now. In the past, I don't know what that game would have been. Maybe like playing Phasmophobia with the buddies online and stuff like that. But yeah, now it's Elden Ring. What about you, Adrian?
I think I would be remiss if I didn't, of course, say my old standby, Animal Crossing for GameCube. I can put that game on, and I have done so. I can put that game on at 11 o'clock in the morning, and I can turn that game off 2 o'clock the next morning. And you know how I know? You know how I know it's 2 o'clock the next morning? Because it's specifically made. There's a song that's so awful and weird sounding in that soundtrack at 2 a.m. that it makes you feel like you're delirious and that you need to turn the game off. And once I heard that, I was like, well, I think granted, this wasn't straight, of course. I took breaks to eat and stretch my legs and whatnot. But when I heard that music, it was a realization that I have been playing too long and it's time to save my progress and go to bed.
Oh, man.
So, yeah, it definitely would be that one for me.
Dang. That's awesome. That's so crazy. I couldn't imagine.
Granted, also, you got to remember, too, this was maybe back in 2003 when I didn't have anything going on and it was summertime. So,
yeah, what else are you going to do?
To be able to do that today, I would have to be like fired from a job and have nothing to do.
That sounds like me with Fallout. I know we mentioned Fallout earlier in the show on that question, but Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas were like some of my all-time favorites. And that was me. Like I would turn it on summer break and just play all day. And only stop for meals, like go eat, run back to the TV, keep playing. And then the next thing you know, it's like midnight, 1 o'clock. It's like, I really should stop. Like I've explored a lot of the wasteland today. Like I should go to bed now.
But you can't, Garrett. There's fish to catch. There's bugs to catch. I have to plant these trees. I have to make sure all my villagers are okay. You know how long that takes? There's some
a long time.
Yeah, you're a hero, Adrian. I just want you to know.
You really are. You really are.
Somebody's got to do it. Carrying around the flag for all of us.
Oh man,
I think that only happened that one time, and I was like, nope.
Like, how I have a problem.
Were you in high school? Was this
No. Because Animal Crossing came out in 2002, and if that was 2003, I was about 12. So maybe like going right into what is that? 6th grade, 7th grade, 6th grade, one of those two.
Okay.
That's when my oldest daughter was born.
2003?
2003. Yeah, I'm old, okay? You know. Follically
I wasn't going to
challenged.
mention anything about it. Did you say chronically challenged?
I said follically. I am challenged by the chronic because they don't have any over here in Nebraska.
You would be more chronologically challenged.
I am chronologically challenged as well. I don't know what point I'm meeting.
We can start using that term instead of just calling you old. Don't pick on JJ. He's chronologically challenged.
Yes. Oh man. Alrighty, guys. Thank you so much for writing in your questions. Send them into the mailbag. We appreciate it. Now it's time for the nerdy nudes.
It's now time for the nerdy nudes.
Music to my ears.
I'm so glad you made it to say that.
So good. So good. All right.
Every time that Garrett has to do it, it is the most pathetic thing I've ever heard. When you look and he goes, "It's all time for the nerdy
I think I've only ever done it like once in the 147 episodes we've done. I don't think I've done it that many times.
But that one time out of 147 drills me in my head. It hurts. It hurts to think about. And it's all I hear. I'm at work all day. I'm helping customers. Yeah, let me get those little chickens for you. And that's all I hear is Garrett and your annoying voice saying, "In your news."
Annoying voice? Is it really that bad? Oh man, I'm all self-conscious.
No, it is. It's the heavy New York accent that just it kills me.
Yeah, you know me. Just forget about it. This first news story comes from us from IGN. Ryan Dinsdale writes, "The Quarry Supermassive Games reveals Until Dawn's spiritual successor." Supermassive Games has revealed The Quarry, a spiritual successor to Until Dawn, launching on June 10th. As with Until Dawn, the cast is made up of a number of recognizable actors. The Quarry is a teen horror where players control 9 different characters as they try to survive the last night of summer camp. And like Until Dawn, anyone can live and anyone can die. Supermassive promises groundbreaking interactive storytelling and an unpredictable night of horror with plenty of flirting and fear, as relationships between characters are built and broken through intense player-based choices. Director Will Biles told IGN that each character has 10 to 12 different potential deaths. He said The Quarry is like a circular story, and each one of those characters is a spoke heading towards the middle, meaning any one of those spokes can be broken without affecting the rest of the narrative. They released a cast list, so we have Ariel Winter, known from Modern Family and Speed Racer, Ethan Suplee from The Wolf of Wall Street, Remember the Titans, My Name is Earl, David Arquette from Scream franchise and Eight-Legged Freaks, Lynn Shay.
David Arquette. I haven't heard that name in a long time.
Former WCW World Champion.
Really?
I did not know that.
Yeah, he won the WCW World title in 2000, and the company closed in 2001. So a lot of people say that them giving it to an actor is what killed WCW. So a lot of wrestling fans hate David Arquette. David Arquette did because he killed WCW, but he actually did he still independently wrestles. He does it constantly.
Really?
He loves wrestling, and he's actually not that bad anymore. Like, he's gotten kind of good. He's in his 50s now, and there was actually on Amazon Prime, there's a great documentary, You Can't Kill David Arquette, and it's about his return to professional independent wrestling and going around the circuit and doing matches and big matches and hurting himself, and yeah, he's actually a phenomenal dude.
Huh.
I had no idea. That's awesome.
That's crazy. Lynn Shay from Insidious franchise and The Grudge, Miles Robbins from Halloween and Blockers, Grace Zabriskie from Armageddon, Wild at Heart, Halston Sage from Neighbors, Zach Tinker from 13 Reasons Why, Lance Henriksen from Aliens, Brenda Song from Dollface, Saibon Williams from Forsaken, Skylar Gazondo from The Social Dilemma, Evan Evagora from Star Trek Picard, Justice Smith from Detective Pikachu, and Ted Raimi from Evil Dead, Spider-Man, Xena, Warrior Princess.
That's where most of the budget for these games goes, paying for all these actors.
There are some huge names in there. I mean, some really big names that are kind of shocking that they're going to be in a motion capture video game. That's kind of neat. But when it comes to the Until Dawn, I liked Until Dawn. I played it. I'm sure you guys played it as well. But I don't think we really need another one of those kind of games. I'm not the biggest fan of that. And I love the horror genre. But that type of choose your own adventure thing, I don't know why. I don't really care for that type of game. But they must have sold it fairly well if they're able to put out a budget like this for this one.
Even back in the day when it was the books and stuff like that, that wasn't your jam either?
No, you know what? I love the choose your own adventure books. I loved those. And I think that one of these games is okay. I think that Man of Medan screwed me up for this type of choose your adventure.
That is not a lot of people's favorite. That one
we did a Spooky Gamer Boys where the whole month every week released us playing because we did it 4 parts of Man of Medan, and by the end we're just well, this was a bad game. Really sorry, everyone. That was not really scary at all. It was really bad.
Yeah, it was, and Until Dawn is not bad. It's really honestly not bad.
No, it was okay. I didn't hate it. It was a good first outing.
Yeah, I'm just saying that after Man of Medan and after Until Dawn, what more can be done? The premise has already kind of been hammered out. And I know that's the old horror premise is that somebody next will die, the next person will die, And so I just don't feel like there's enough meat on the bone.
Yeah.
You know, it just feels like kind of a played out.
I just feel like this could be really fun because the premise of it is kind of taking influence from like Friday the 13th. Like it even says like it's the end of summer camp. Like there's a killer on the loose in the woods. Like it is very much like taking influence from like those 80s like kind of style horror movie, like horror flick. So I don't know. I think it could be fun just because of that, like the nostalgic kind of feel to it. But I do see what you're saying though. Like you kind of done it once. Like what more can you do? Like because it's kind of the same game just with a new skin on it. But
interesting. I'm curious because honestly, with Until Dawn, I played it once, and yes, there's the idea is that you can keep playing it and have all these other. I'd never played any other options. Did you guys go and say, you know what, I'm going to play 4 or 5 different times and choose differently? I'm curious if people.
I always said I was going to, but I just never took the time to do it. But I know a lot of people do, and a lot of people enjoy it because you get very different endings and different things like key story points throughout the game. So I haven't done that, but I know some people who have. Yeah,
I will keep playing until I get a good ending. In some games I'll play the story, and then that one time I play it, that will be my story. That's what happened in my world. So it varies it depends on how good the story is. If it was good enough to where I felt like I got what I needed out of it from one time, then I'll let it be my story. But if it's like a middling ending, or if it didn't make sense because clearly they wanted you to experience another ending, I'll go back and do it again.
Okay. Yeah, that's kind of when I got to when we finished Man of Medan, I almost wanted to play it again to be like, is there a better ending? There has to be a better ending. But the path to get to the end was so rough. I was like, I don't know if I can do it again. Like it was too hard. It was too much. So yeah, never did it.
You know, that game might not be as horrible as we think it is, only because we were playing it in a way that we were hoping that it was going to be entertaining for an audience to watch, and maybe it's more of like a one-on thing, like where you personally can play the game and have a good time playing it alone versus playing it with others for other people's entertainment.
Maybe. I don't know. But yeah, so I don't know. I'm kind of looking forward to this because I mean that's kind of Supermassive's bread and butter. All of their games are like that. They've come out with Until Dawn. Let's see, what's their whole list of games? Because I think they have a bunch, like 3 different Dark Pictures games.
In the Dark Pictures, I think they just have Until Dawn. They have Man of Medan, and then they've been kind of quiet since then until this, right?
No, so they have Until Dawn.
Oh wait, there is one more.
And then they did Man of Medan, and then they had Little Hope, and then actually House of Ashes. House of Ashes came out last fall. And House of Ashes was actually, everyone's saying, was really good. Like most people said Man of Medan was Little Hope was but a lot of people said House of Ashes was fantastic, and that one came out last fall. So I almost want to try House of Ashes. But I think, the Dark Pictures Anthology is going to be 4 games, right? And they have 3 out now. So they have 1 more to go on that. But this isn't part of it. Quarry is, they're saying very specifically, it's not part of the Dark Pictures. It's separate.
So they're taking a break probably to let the creative juices recharge for the Dark Pictures, and then they can go out with a bang. Yeah,
that's what it seems like. But they also had that Hidden Agenda. Do you remember? Do you ever play that one? That's the phone one. Remember, PlayStation had that whole initiative where you can play party games with your phone.
Oh yeah,
on PS4.
I remember the initiative. I don't remember exactly which games were in it.
So Hidden Agenda was like a murder mystery. I think you're like a cop or something, or a detective, but there's different choices that pop up on the screen, and everyone votes on their phone what decision they want to make, and then whatever one gets the most votes is what you do. So you're going through the story, kind of like trying to, and I think depending on how many players you have, there's like different objectives that are hidden within the game, like certain characters, like, you're trying to cause this to happen. So like, you might be voting this one way because you're trying to like mess up the investigation and stuff like that, which is really interesting. But yeah, that was an interesting game that they had. It came out in 2017. Yeah, Supermassive. They know what their niche is, you know. They've got it nailed down. They're getting better at it. So I'm excited.
They got a lot of heart. I want to see them succeed. I know they've had a couple of stumbles, but I feel like when they're hit, they really hit. So
plus they publish Little Nightmares 2, you know, JJ's favorite game.
Oh, I'm buying their stuff then. I'm going to support them. Let's keep supporting them, folks.
Man of Medan sucked. They made Little Nightmares. Oh, Man of Medan was incredible. It was a 10 out of 10.
Oh, man. All right. This next news story from IGN, written by Taylor Lyles. Hogwarts Legacy gameplay and plot details revealed. There was a state of play, PlayStation state of play this last week, which is interesting because this game isn't just available on PlayStation. It's come out on PlayStation, Xbox, and it was announced later it's coming out on Switch. And
you know what else? It's running natively. You know what's not running natively? Square Enix? I'm sure you do. We'll leave it there.
We'll leave it there. We'll leave it right there. Yeah, when I heard that, I was like, I loved all the memes going around where like Hogwarts Legacy on PlayStation and Xbox PC and then on Switch, and it shows the old like PlayStation 2 game or whatever, the PS1 game. It's like, yes.
We've heard that joke 100 times already.
But this game looks absolutely gorgeous. It had, let's see, they showed off plot details where the character is tasked with investigating a rumored goblin rebellion led by a goblin named Ranrock, further noting there was an uneasy alliance between the goblins and dark wizards. It takes place in the 1800s, and what's really neat is they basically showed off it's an open world RPG. So Hogwarts Castle, totally open for you to explore, all the grounds outside.
Hogsmeade.
Hogsmeade. There's a ton of creatures that you can encounter in the world.
Also, I don't know if you have it there, but the idea that you can create your own wizard, so you're getting to create the look. You can put yourself in the world, which is pretty cool.
There's a whole character creation tool where you get to make your character look any way you want, and I don't know. It's for me. I was surprised at how psyched I am about this because I've already been crucified about this because I've mentioned it before. I've only watched the first movie and I haven't read any of the books, so everyone always gets mad at me. But I watched this, I'm like, this game looks really freaking cool. Like I really am all in on this.
Yeah, I was curious what you guys thought. I know that you're not a Harry Potter fan. Adrian, I assume that you've probably read the books and stuff.
I've read the books. I've watched the movies. I've listened to the audiobooks. I did the Sorting Hat test when Pottermore came out, the online. But I also have to say before we go any further, I was not expecting a Hogsmeade to come out of your mouth. Yeah, that was a little breadcrumb right there that you let on. You know something.
Oh, I just did that, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
Okay, yeah. Full disclosure. I have been to the wizarding world of Harry Potter and Universal Studios. I have read every book numerous times. Huge Harry Potter fan.
Gary, did you notice?
I had no idea.
Oh my gosh, I am the biggest nerd. Like, look, when the book would come out at like midnight, I want you to think this through. When the book would come out. Nerd I am. Yes.
Mommy, what's that chronologically challenged man doing in line with us?
Oh, no. And I was totally like, I'm like, hey, kid, you're touching me. Back off.
Oh, my gosh.
Expelliarmus! Whatever.
Oh, my.
I just learned something new today. How about that?
Oh, man, a huge nerd for it. I love it. I think that it's such a fun world, and that's why I'm so impressed. And, like, I probably jumped up out of my chair nerdily when I was like, they have a gameplay trailer. I mean, we've all seen the little teaser trailer, But this looks fantastic.
15 minutes of straight gameplay.
Yeah, go and check it out on YouTube. The teaser trailer for Hogwarts Legacy looks wonderful. It looks like a lot of fun. And it's coming out holiday 2022.
Yeah, so apparently it's coming out this Christmas, which is crazy.
I wouldn't hold my breath, but let's hope.
PlayStation doesn't let us down like Xbox does. Halo Infinite, So when PlayStation says something, they deliver.
Oh yeah, how's that Tokyo Ghoul going? Always online Gran Turismo 7 going? How's that going?
Ooh,
I have no complaints on Gran Turismo. I have no complaints with GT7.
You gotta be very careful talking trash about Gran Turismo. You're gonna end up getting into a brawl. And I'm just,
Hey, I have no complaints with GT7.
Who's talking about Horizon right now? I static.
Well, no, Horizon.
Radio silence.
Horizon got the old
smacked down by
Breath of the Wild.
Not even another PlayStation game.
No, they got the Breath of the Wild treatment. The first one, when the first Horizon came out, Breath of the Wild came out. When the second Horizon came out, Elden Ring came out. It's like they just can't catch a break over that. Guerrilla, every time they put out their open world game, a bigger open world game comes in and steals their lunch. It's like poor Guerrilla, man. You guys can't
so
win.
let's not do that. Let's not.
Oh man,
we don't have to have a measuring contest here.
No, but this game looks crazy. One of my buddies who is super into Harry Potter, Sir Prince a lot, he called me and he's like, Garrett, I'm so excited. Like, I might be buying a PS5 for this. I'm like, it's coming out on PS4. You don't have to. He's like, no, I'm get it. He's like, no,
you don't have to.
He's like, no, I'm buying it on PS5, dude. Like, I gotta play it at the best possible way.
He was just looking for an excuse to buy one.
That's all it was.
Definitely. But I was like, okay, you do it. Get a PS5, play this game. And I'm just glad that, and his comment to me was, because again, I'm not a huge Harry Potter fan, but he was like, it's almost like they asked every Harry Potter like fan what they would want in a game, and actually, like, at least in this gameplay trailer, they actually are delivering on it. It seems like they're actually delivering on it, which is crazy because most games, especially with a huge fan base behind it, that doesn't happen a lot of time. A lot of times the fan base comes out, it's like, well, you could have done this, or where's this, or why isn't that there? Everyone's just like, all upset about something. It's crazy how, like, unanimously, at least I have heard very little negative about this Harry Potter trailer as far as like,
I haven't heard any where's this, where's that.
Yeah, the features being brought to this game, and maybe it's just because most Harry Potter games have been garbage. So it's just like, this is better than what we've got before.
Fair point.
But I don't know. It's exciting to hear. Yeah, my buddy, and then you, JJ. I had no idea you're a Harry Potter fan. I'm glad to hear that you're excited for it too.
Yeah, I'm proud of you for coming out.
Well, I've kept it hidden, and like it's just time to like be me. It's 2022.
Hey, there you go.
Now wait a second. I just have to say one thing though. All these years I've known you,
Garrett, we have a lot of news items that we have to cover, and lots more of the show. And it's also late. Okay. I started at like 10 o'clock my time, buddy. I mean, so it's
all right.
No. I'm sorry.
We'll talk about this after the show. No, this is a private discussion. I have some words for you, sir. This is the next news story here. Perfect Dark Reboot heavily affected by developers leaving in the past years. A report originally from VGC, GameSpot. This is little summaries written by Eddie McCooch over there. The development team working on the Perfect Dark reboot for Microsoft has lost a number of staffers in the past year, but top brass at the studio, the initiative, remains confident in the team and the game. VGC discovered through LinkedIn that about 34 people have left the initiative in the past year, including game director Dan Newberger and design director Drew Murray. Numerous other staffers across a variety of disciplines also left the team in the past 12 months, it was discovered. The staffing losses in the past year coincide with the announcement that Crystal Dynamics has been brought on as a co-developer on the Perfect Dark reboot. Former senior developers on the Perfect Dark reboot at the initiative said they left the team due in part to how there was a lack of creative autonomy and slow development progress, according to VGC. The development momentum on the Perfect Dark reboot has been heavily affected by the departures. The former developers told VGC that some staffers became frustrated by the initiative's reported top-down approach to decision-making when it comes to design choices. Let's see. It goes on to say that the initiative boss Daryl Gallagher told VGC that the staffing changes are not uncommon for a new studio taking over a beloved franchise. Not only that, but Gallagher cited the global upheaval, quote unquote, obviously talking about COVID, over the past couple of years.
Initiative.
Over the past couple of years as an explanation in part to the staffing changes. So people are quitting their job because of COVID. I don't.
Right. That makes zero sense.
I don't know how they connected this dot way over here with this dot way down here, but they figured it out in their head anyways. Gallagher said he wishes all the departing developers the very best, adding that he feels confident about the team in place currently and the new staffers coming on board. Whether or not the release schedule for the Perfect Dark Reboot was affected by these changes is unknown, but Gallagher acknowledged that there is plenty more work to do on the game before it's ready for release.
Spoiler. It was affected.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, there's no way you don't lose 30 some people on your staff, especially big time main, like what, a director and
most of the top senior staff,
game director and our design director, they're just like, I'm out, see ya. Like, it takes time to bring on a new person to not only learn the role, but then get orientated on the project, and then also getting, that creative headspace to like, okay, here we go. Like, that's not something you just flip a switch and the next day they're in. Like,
but no, there's no trouble. There's no cause for alarm. To quote, I don't know if you anybody in here is an Avatar fan, but basically this is
James Cameron Avatar.
No, the good Avatar. The Last Airbender. This is a there is no war in Ba Sing Se moment right now, which, if you're unaware of what's going on, the city of Ba Sing Se, which is in one of the kingdoms in Avatar, was clearly in a state of being sabotaged and was in war. But of course, they have propaganda and they have political officials who would convince to the point of death that they are not convinced, but trying to convince people up to the point of death that there was no war and everything was fine. And that sounds like what this is. There is clearly trouble at the initiative, which is why they brought Crystal Dynamics on.
It's like the "This is fine" meme where it's just like the dog sitting in the middle of the room, like sipping his like coffee or his tea, and everything's on fire. It's like, this is fine,
right? But this one, but that room that he's in cost like a couple $100 million.
Yeah, it's just piles of cash that are on fire.
Right. And the dog is Phil Spencer.
Oh man. Well, that's the thing. I haven't seen any statement from Phil Spencer, just from the initiative people, but I would be curious.
You won't. He's made statements to them, to the initiative, I guarantee you that. And I'm pretty sure they weren't filled with very nice words, but
yeah, it's I mean, I know I can see how it can be hard to, like, I don't know, make everyone happy within a company, but yeah, like you're saying, like, to lose that many people, obviously something is very wrong in whatever it might be. Like, I'm surprised they haven't fixed it by now. Like, it's been a year. Like, this has been happening over the last year. Like, that's plenty of time to also make a changes. Like, why are things not changing? I don't know. It seems crazy.
It's what happens when you try to make a super gigantic studio and you don't have the right people in place to maintain it. It's people who it's too many conflicting perspectives in one building, and it's too many people in upper management who believe that they should be the highest in management, and they don't want to agree with what anybody else is saying because they all think their way is the best way. That's most likely what's going on, and because everybody can't get their way, they're leaving.
Yeah, which is unfortunate. I mean, is there any, like, I don't know. I feel like that's something that's even hard to fix. I mean, the only way to fix that would just be like, okay, like, yeah, I have a little more open discussion about things, but I don't know, when you have a property that you're trying to reboot too, like, there's also, I feel like there needs to be some structure where it's like, no, this is like the guidelines we're trying to stay within. So it's like this weird thing where being a reboot, you have like guardrails but then also like the weird balance with like, okay, but also giving them creative freedom to like do what they want with it. I don't know. It is a tricky balance to strike, I feel like.
I already knew that there was something wrong when they didn't mention that they brought anybody in from Rare, from the original team to consult. What?
Yeah.
Are you sure that you're going to be able to get the character of Joanna down, like who she is and what she represents and her ambitions and all that kind of stuff, without anything from, like, you can play the original games to get an idea, but when you talk to the people who made the game, you get like the ethos behind it, what they were thinking when they were creating the character in the world. And if they don't have anybody from that original team to even just be a consultant on it, that's worrying.
Now, is this going to be a full reboot, or is this just kind of a reskin? Are they going in and retooling everything?
No, this is a reboot. They're restarting it from scratch,
from the ground up. Yeah, so they're just taking the basic framework of the original game and going off of that. So I think that they need to go and play Resident Evil 2 right now, the remake, the reboot, to be able to see how it is done perfectly. That's how you want to like use that type of framework to go and take and reboot a game. Keep the heart of what made the game great in the beginning, and then bring it into the 22nd century.
See, but the thing is about that, JJ, is a lot of the people who worked on those games, I shouldn't say a lot, but I'm sure a few people who worked on those games still work at Capcom, and a lot of Japanese studios, the employees talk to each other frequently, so it's not very hard for them to get in touch with people who worked on the original Resident Evils to make sure that they get the feel and the understanding of the game right. And I'm sure like it's a big deal because Japan is like an honor-based society that you want to make sure that you pay correct respect to the original work that people put into this series, so that you don't embarrass them and in turn yourself by making a subpar product. I just don't think the initiative has that goal in mind, or that, how should I say, reverence in mind for this. I think they were just tasked with, Perfect Dark is an Xbox IP that we own that we haven't done anything with in a while. You guys do something with it.
Yeah, it's kind of haphazard. They're just kind of going at it like it's got to get done, and maybe not having the actual care behind it that they should.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Yeah, it is worrisome. Like, okay, yeah, why haven't we seen anything, heard anything about it? But yeah.
Nothing since that trailer.
Nothing. But time will tell. Who knows? Maybe it'll just be another Scalebound and just disappear and be canceled.
Oh boy.
Hopefully not. Obviously, I don't wish that on any company.
I don't want any game to ever be bad, but
yeah. All right, cool. Well, that is it for the nerdy news this week. It is now time for our Patreon ad. All right, everyone, this is the time of the episode where I tell you to go to patreon.com/supergamerboys. Stop what you're doing right now. Pull over if you're driving. I want you to put down your sandwich if you're eating your lunch break. Whatever you're doing, pull out your phone right now. Patreon.com/supergamerboys. Go support us over there. You can start at a lower tier, just $1 a month. Throw us $1 a month, and that helps us make our show big and bad and awesome. Keeps the lights on, helps provide anything we need from games to movies to equipment. And what it gets you is episodes early and ad-free, like this show, like our Super Gamer Book Club hosted by Adrian. So we're at the $5 tier. You get the show notes ahead of time so you can know what we're going to talk about. Leave your own comments, questions, concerns for news stories, questions, whatever it might be on there. $10 a month, you get the shout out in the show. You're a sponsor. We can consider you a Patreon sponsor, and we appreciate that. So, of course, you're going to get a shout out on the show each week. And then our Patreon producer tier, where you get the shout out in the show, but you also get the pitch a segment. So if you're feeling real creative and you're like, you know what, I think this would be a cool segment, support us over there, throw us the pitch, And yeah, we appreciate each and every one of those people who support us at all the tiers. You guys are all awesome. We actually had a little bit of a boom last month. I was surprised. We got like 2 or 3 new supporters, all at the dollar level. So we appreciate all of you guys. You're incredible. If you're interested in being awesome like those folks, patreon.com/supergamerboys. I'll say it one more time, and support us there. Last thing I want to say is, go ahead.
I was just going to say, don't forget, for $20 a month, you can also have early access to all of Garrett's OnlyFans account. So there is some great content. Well, there's content that's on that OnlyFans account. And so you get early and ad-free access to all of that Garrett's OnlyFans for $20 a month.
Yeah, we haven't promoted that in a while. It's been a long time since we brought that up. So thank you. Thanks for reminding me.
Let me tell you, those pictures are very risque, and some of the videos are kind of disgusting, borderline disgusting. But if that's what you're into, you can always support us on Patreon.
Also, if you're watching us here on Twitch, Monday nights when we record the episode, we do it live at twitch.tv/thesupergamerboys. You can subscribe to our channel. If you sub for a month, it's $5. Or if you have Amazon Prime, you have Twitch Gaming, or Prime Gaming. Dang, I can't remember. You have Prime Gaming, which means you can throw us a free sub. Costs you $0. We get $5. So go ahead, use that free sub right now. Twitch.tv/thesupergamerboys. Click the button. We'd very much appreciate that. And you get some sweet emotes with our faces on them. All right, let's get back to the show. All right, guys. So what are you laughing at? What are you
my
laughing
son just popped his head into the room and he goes, I wanna shoot my eyes out thinking about Garrett's OnlyFans. And he overheard the OnlyFans comment, and like apparently he wants to shoot his eyes out now. So good job.
The bigger question is, how does your son know what OnlyFans is?
Oh damn.
Oh, good question. Sounds like you got some questions to ask tonight.
We're going to have to talk tonight. Yep.
All right. It's the time of the show where you guys tell me what you've been playing. So what you been playing? Go ahead, JJ.
Go ahead.
You look excited. You look excited.
All right, so I actually got to play a very small amount. I haven't been playing regular games, but we had a family barbecue, and I got to play about a half hour of Elden Ring. And dude, on the PS5, my nephew has like just been killing it on that game. And you guys have been talking about it, and I thought, I'm never going to play it. It's way too hard. What a fantastically gorgeous game. I get to fight some dragons. I was fighting all kinds of crazy, like demonic, soldiers or whatever. Dude, that game is so incredibly beautiful. Like, they've created such an awesome world. So yes. I can completely see why you guys love that game the way that you do. Yeah, it is super difficult. What I played wasn't horrible because he was pretty overpowered by that point in the game when I played with his character. But wow, I'm blown away by how it looks. They are just pushing everything that the PS5 has. This generation of console is just now starting to really see like what it can do with games like Elden Ring. So if you guys haven't had an opportunity, play that game because it's amazing.
It's very good.
You heard it here first. Purdom seal of approval.
Purdom approved. I mean, that's all I've been playing. I'll just chime right in. I just been playing Elden Ring. I haven't been able to play a ton because I was on my trip, and then the next day my parents came and visited. But any chance I've gotten, I've snuck out and tried to play some. Oh, it's so stinking good. I think I'm at like level 50 something now, and let me like 30 plus hours into it. Oh, I love it so much. I'm in what's it called? Caelid.
Oh, okay. I know where you are.
So
getting your head handed to you.
Technically, I think the game wants me to start heading north, but I was like, nope. I'm. You guys know me. The reason I both love and hate open world games because I have to explore every inch of the map. So before I'm moving on to the northern part of the map, I am clearing every section in that bottom part. And so I have, and I found all like the map pieces. I found all the golden seeds that are hidden around, any flask upgrades, anything. And so, but the last section is Caelid, and Yeah, just like Adrian said, I'm getting my butt handed to me big time. That section is so hard. There was a tweet that you shared one time. I think it's something about like when the sky's red. I don't even remember.
Oh, to turn around.
Yeah, it's just like
that's your cue to immediately turn around.
Yeah, if the sky is red in Elden Ring, you've effed up. I think it said or something like that. It is like turn around and go. And so I love that as soon as you come over it goes from like nice blue, beautiful skies. See the big trees in the background, and like all of a sudden like just red death. Like evil
things start catching on fire, dragons flying overhead. Yeah. It's like, no, I should not be here. I don't want to be here.
Skeleton and zombie creatures all over. I'm like, this is bad. This is a bad area, but you know what, I gotta clear this part of the map, so I'm just gonna power through.
So that must have been actually where I was because there was a giant red burning tree that was like all the embers from it were flying all over the place, and I also ended up fighting like an ice dragon in another location. Yeah, but there was like a giant tree that was like on fire, and like there's all these embers like flying all over the place. And yeah, it was just insane.
Yeah. Crazy. What have you been playing, Adrian?
I outside of Elden Ring, I will spare you because you already know. We all adore it.
That's what we're doing. It's what we're doing. This is the new Elden Ring podcast. Welcome to the Super Elden boys.
Super Tarnished boys.
The Super Tarnished boys.
So outside of that, I have I've been playing a little a DS game that has it's called Trauma Center. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of it. You play the role. It's an RPG in which you play the role of a surgeon in a hospital, and you perform different procedures with the stylus and the touchscreen. And you pick different tools, right? So, like for example, somebody has a tumor in their stomach, so you'll tap the antiseptic and clean the area, and then you'll tap the scalpel and make the incision, and then you'll tap another tool to go in and cut the tumor out, and then you have to sterilize it and stitch it back up, and it just gets more intense from there on out to like eventually you're doing like heart surgery and stuff like that. This is my first time playing this series. I've heard all about it over the years.
Sorry, what's the name of it again? One more time.
The hype. Trauma Center.
Oh yeah, I think
there was one on Wii too, where you had to do it with the Wii remote. But yeah, no, that game it's pretty great.
Crazy. That sounds fun. Have you ever played? Oh shoot, not 2 Point Hospital. No, what was the other one? There's a game that just came out like last year on Epic Games. That's Surgeon Simulator.
Are you sure it's not 2 Point?
Surgeon Simulator.
Oh,
did you play Surgeon Simulator? Oh man, that game. It came out. Yeah, it was like the beginning of last year. It came out on PC. I think it came to consoles later. And that game is wacky. It is not it's called Surgeon Simulator. It is not a simulator in any way. It is absolutely like goofy, over the top, silly. But let me tell you, I had so much fun. You can do 4-player co-op. But what's awesome in that game is your limbs are just like total like noodles, basically. So you're trying to like saw.
Oh, it's like Quap.
So you're trying. I don't know what that is, but sure.
It's the one where you have to try to walk, but every button is a key on the keyboard.
Kind of, yeah. So it's just like way overly. It's overly like designed almost with like the way the controls are. So like in order to like rotate there's one button to rotate your hand, one button to go back and forth, another button to go up and down. It's just like, so you're trying to like, okay, amputate his leg and put a new leg on him, and you're just like, I cut off his arm. Oh shoot, there goes his heart. Oh, I had to quick, put it back in there. Like, it is like so fantastic. But yeah, not anything like what you're describing, but it just made me think of that. It was a fun game, and I always like that type of game. Like, so I might need to. You said it's on DS though, not 3DS. Can you play it on 3DS?
If you get the cart, you can play it on 3DS.
Okay.
I don't think it's very expensive either, so that'd be something to look into.
That's a that's a question I actually had for you because I have a 3DS now. Can you play DS carts in there? Because my 3DS only has one slot in it. Like, are they the same cartridges, the same size?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
I didn't realize that.
You just put DS carts in the 3DS slot or in the 3DS game slot, and it'll play them just fine.
Okay. For some reason, I thought they were different size. The cartridges were different sizes, but
it is fully compatible with the entire DS library.
Interesting. Good to know.
So that just opened up a whole new door for you. Yeah. And then finally, my last game, I actually have not started playing because I'm kind of at a crossroads. Now, we just passed March 3rd of this year, which marks the 5th anniversary of the release of the Nintendo Switch, which also means that as of March 3rd, I have not replayed Breath of the Wild since 2017.
Are you doing it?
And I'm probably thinking about maybe doing it. I feel like it's been long enough. I remember the overarching story, but a lot of the details, like, you know, different locations and where to find different stuff like that, starting to get a little fuzzy. So I'm thinking it might have been enough time that I might go in, and might be a time to return to Hyrule as 100 years in the future and awesome. See, because I know that there's tons of things that I didn't see the first time I played it. So it may be things that I never seen before in this playthrough that I didn't see last time. So that might be alongside Elden Ring the big thing that I'm sinking a lot of time into. So
yes, dude, I started watching Snowbike Mike on Kind of Funny. He's for the first time. It's his first Zelda game ever. He's never played a Zelda game. Oh, really? And he's jumped into Breath of the Wild. And so I've been watching his playthrough. I think they have like 2 episodes out now, 2 parts. And as soon as I started watching it, I was just like, I need to go back to this game because I haven't touched it either since it first came out like 5 years ago. So I'm like, I kind of started getting the itch, but I'm like, nope. I'm playing the Elden Ring right now. And I made a vow at the beginning of the year to platinum Death Stranding. So somehow I still have to do that by the end of the year.
You still have 9 months.
Okay. You know how little game time I get for me to think I'm going to beat Elden Ring, platinum Death Stranding, and somehow play Breath of the Wild in that? There's no way.
Doesn't your Death Stranding progress copy over? I thought I saw something about that.
No, because he buys it on everything that's out there. Like soon it's going to be on he's going to get on the Atari box. Like he's getting it on everything that has it.
So the director's cut is coming to PC this week or next week, and I got to pick it up then too. Even though I already own on PC, goodness. I got to get the director's cut everywhere. So it does, but the problem is you had to transfer your save over.
Oh, but the old Sony method where you have to install your game on the hard drive, on a portable hard drive. Then you have to plug it into the back of the PS5. Then you have to call the PlayStation hotline and say, "Hey, PlayStation, what do I need to transfer my game?" And they'll go, "Okay, let us hook you up to the DSL hotline
to the modem." Over the phone.
And you have to go to America Online and you have to search keyword Sony.
You forgot the step before the phone call was actually turning counterclockwise 3 times in a circle.
Oh,
yeah.
Silly me.
Yeah.
Well, no.
Then you have to upload your save. Then you have to put the Death Stranding PS5 disc in, take it out, spin it around on your finger, put it back in.
That's right.
Install that, go back on AOL, keyword Sony. I'm sorry, keyword Kojima, which will take you to deathstranding.net. You can click on data transfer.
And you had to use Netscape browser too, specifically the Netscape browser.
And then finally, it'll send an email to Jim Ryan, who will personally click OK for you to download your Death Stranding data and play on PS5.
So I did all that. And then I got to the end and they said, "Sorry, we can't transfer your data because you're in the middle of a mission."
Ah, see?
So I was like, well, I don't have a PS4 anymore, so I can't pull up my PS4 to finish the mission. So I guess I just start over. So That's how it goes. I starting from scratch.
Oh my God, it's 2022. What are they doing?
Yep. So yeah, I really want to play Breath of the Wild with you, but we'll see. It might, maybe if by some miracle I finish Elden Ring in the next couple
What I'm
weeks,
scared about is I start playing Breath of the Wild and then Elden Ring goes by the wayside, which I really don't want to happen, but we all know how things can go with that game. A lot of people right now arguing which one of the two is better. I think they may be equal. I know it's scary to think. But as a whole,
they're both very strong
they're both
competitors.
Excellent.
Very strong competitors, yes. Oh, man. All right, guys. Well, that was a fun episode. JJ, I'm glad you're able to join us, even though you're a little late. I'm still shocked by how smooth that transition was, so thank you for...
I'm going to congratulate you, sir.
Congratulations.
You nailed it.
A round of applause for JJ.
Well, thank you.
Jumped right in.
Thank you. That's what I do. A lot of people call me a savior. I mean, it's mostly me, calling myself that. But, I nonetheless, I was a hero today.
Yes.
You did it. You deserve it.
Some people say we're all heroes, but
no, they don't.
No. Then that means none of us are.
All right. Thank you guys all so much for listening to the show. We appreciate each and every one of you who watch live on Twitch, who watch on youtube.com/supergamerboys, who listen on podcast services, support us on Patreon. If you want to support us on Patreon, go over to patreon.com/supergamerboys. Remember, just $1 a month. That's like a cup of coffee is like $5 at Starbucks, and you'll buy 5 of those a week, maybe 6. So think about that, how much cheaper we are to support than Starbucks.
Speaking from experience, 6 cups of coffee.
I mean, not a day, a week. You get 1 a day.
Okay, sure.
Or 6 a day. I
was gonna say that sounds more like what you wanted to say.
I mean, who's to say? Support us over there. We'd appreciate it big time, and help us make really cool things. All right, sgbstore.com. Buy some sweet merch. We got t-shirts, we got stickers, we got face masks. I have a new face mask design on there. It's all black, white logo. So if you want to look a little more professional, so it's not all the purple, glitzy, glammy. Clean. Yeah, a little more black tie formal with the Super Gamer Boys. Check it out. Review us where you can on your podcast services. Apple Podcasts, it's very much appreciated. On YouTube, go ahead, smash the like button, click subscribe, ring that bell so you get notifications when new episodes go live. Thank you again to Jack Sriracha and Yate for allowing us to use their music on the show. Find them on Spotify and Apple Music. Links to Spotify are down below in the description on YouTube and podcast services here. During the week, you can find us at supergamerboys.com, Twitter and Instagram at supergamerboys. I'm on Twitter and Instagram at gmorlang. Adrian, where can they find you at?
You can find me any and everywhere at Homeboy, HOLMBOI.
And JJ, where can they find you?
You can always find me at Twitter and Instagram. And when I say always, I mean always, at JJ Purdom.
You've been pretty active, whether we like it or not.
Whether we like it or not. I'm getting pretty dangerous with the old tweeting and stuff. You know what I mean?
I'm not mad at it. This is the most you've ever been online. I keep, every time I look at my phone, I can't believe I see JJ Purdom just tweeted. And it's like within the last 24 hours, too. Not like within 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, right?
Good stuff. Good stuff. Good on you. Another round of applause for JJ.
Yeah.
You know what?
Thank you.
You're just killing it.
As long as you keep it consistent, at least 1 tweet a day.
Yep.
1 tweet a day, I think you'll be good.
And that's it. I'm looking for stuff to tweet about. I'm like looking at the toilet and going, is that newsworthy? Nah. Well, I want to take a picture and put that on Instagram.
Really? Yeah. I mean, all tweets are just thoughts anyway. They're just random thoughts. So
and that's why mine are so disjointed and kind of crazy and stuff like that, because I get a lot of them.
Those are the best kind.
Right?
Best. All right. That's it for me. JJ, take us out.
Okay. All right. For geriatric Garrett Morlang, for adorable Adrian Homeboy Holmes, and for myself, Juicy JJ Purdom, we are the Super Gamer Boys.
And we will catch you on the flippity flop.
Why'd you breathe like that?
He's a tired man. He just got back from partying with grandmas.
Oh. Were you hanging out with grandmas, bud?
We'll talk about it later.
Did he tell you that he's into grandmas? Because he told me that before.
clearly he went to Orlando, the mecca of a retirement home.